This is a video for explaining how to use the AlphaHP and J512 dilution stations. These are dilution stations that you'll find all over Head Start of Lane County, and they look like this. This is the Whitaker dilution station. It has AlphaHP and J512 sanitizer in it. And when we pull back, you'll see there's yellow buttons and there's tubes. There's a short tube typically for AlphaHP and a long tube for J512. In this setup at Whitaker, it's hooked up to a janitorial sink, so it's a little complicated to turn it on properly, and you should not do it without instruction. In this case, you have to change the settings so that you don't flood the sink. And so that's what Jean is doing here, is resetting it so that the water will run not into the sink but into the station itself. If this part isn't done correctly, then your dilutions are not going to be correct. So please don't do it without getting training first. This is just a refresher in this video. So in this case, the water's been turned on, the station is on. Now we have the correct bottle matching the label up above for AlphaHP, and it's going to fill. Just press the yellow button and the bottle will fill. It's relatively quick, but you don't want it to be too quick. So now the bottle is full. Sometimes there's bubbling at the top. You put the lid on, put the lid on again in this video, and you're done with that. Now afterwards you have to make sure to turn the plumbing station off or you will have a flooded kitchen. Beware of bubbling over. This happens when you're filling too fast and you end up with bubbles coming out of the top. It's not a huge deal, you can still use that bottle. Now, testing dilution levels. This is a tester for quaternary ammonia, which is J512, and this is the tester for AlphaHP, which is hydrogen peroxide based. You have two different testing strips, and we have a board up on the wall of each station that makes sure you're testing the right thing. AlphaHP is a little harder to test than J512. Here's an example of us testing J512, and you see when you make sure that is the J512 quaternary ammonia testing. You're going to rip off a small piece, and then you're going to dip it. In this case, we're dipping it in a small amount. I would advise using a bigger container to test. I use a large yogurt container typically. This is showing a high concentration, and until you get the right quantity in there, you don't want to be sure. That's testing too high, and we need to change it. After you're done, be sure to lock up the closet to keep it safe from children. Typically, here at Whitaker, there's a bolt above the door, and make sure that it's locked. Thank you for viewing this training.